Hi everybody, I'm Noah Schwartz, and for the last time this semester, it's time once again for another edition of Blue Nation. It's your home for the latest sports headlines, both with the Blue Golds and the rest of the wide world of sports. Let's get started. We begin at Hobbs Ice Center, where the number 10 ranked Blue Gold women's hockey team faced off against the Concordia Moorhead Cobbers on Saturday afternoon. In an offensive explosion, the Blue Golds tallied 8 goals from 6 different scorers as they glided to an 8-0 win. Junior forward Eden Gruber scored twice, as did senior forward Sophie Rausch. Rausch's 17 goals on the season now has her tied for the most in the nation. The team's record moves up to 9-2, and they'll be off until early January when they take on St. Norbert's. Later that evening, the Blue Gold men's hockey team was also in action at Hobbs in a Saturday night WIAC rivalry matchup against UW-Stevens Point. After a scoreless first period and a second period that ended tied 1-1, the Blue Golds found themselves trailing the Pointers 2-1 for most of the third. With less than 2 minutes left in regulation, freshman forward Leo Baculla found the back of the net on a one-timer off the face-off to send the game to overtime. Unfortunately for the Blue Golds, Stevens Point would score the game winner 2 minutes into the extra period, handing Eau Claire their second straight loss and dropping them out of the top 25. The Blue Golds now sit at 7-5 on the season, 3-3 in the WIAC, and they'll also be in action in January when they take on St. Olaf at home. Meanwhile, the Blue Gold men's basketball team took to the hardwood at Zorn Arena Wednesday night as they hosted Wartburg College. During a back-and-forth first half, the Blue Golds found their offense by making long-distance calls, making 12 three-pointers, including 8 in the first half, and shooting 46% from beyond the arc. This high-flying approach led Eau Claire to a 15-point lead at halftime, after which they cruised to a 72-58 win. The Blue Gold men's basketball team now stands at 6-3 on the season. Their game scheduled for tomorrow night in Superior has been pushed back to Thursday night due to the incoming winter storm in the forecast. And the Blue Gold women's basketball team had its 5-game win streak broken on Saturday at the hands of the Loras College Dewhawks. It was a back-and-forth game throughout, but Eau Claire's comeback attempt in the fourth quarter couldn't quite muster the strength to make it happen. The 88-79 loss, brings the Blue Golds' record down to 9-2 on the season, and drops them in the national rankings from 9th to 14th. Outside of the Blue Golds, the biggest story in the sports world broke early this morning. Mississippi State Bulldogs head coach Mike Leach has died. Leach was a 2-time National Coach of the Year during his time with Texas Tech, Washington State, and Mississippi State. His air raid offense, which he helped create, set a number of both school and NCAA records. While preparing to lead his team into the ReliaQuest Bowl next month, Leach suffered an unspecified heart problem and was rushed to a hospital yesterday. After complications, Leach died early this morning. He was 61. Elsewhere in college football, perhaps the most prestigious and iconic individual award in all of sports was handed out on Saturday night. USC quarterback Caleb Williams has been named this year's Heisman Trophy winner as the best player in college football after leading the USC Trojans to an 11-2 record and throwing for more than 4,000 yards and 47 touchdowns. Despite USC failing to qualify for the college football playoff, Williams still earned nearly 4 times as many first-place votes as the runner-up for the award. And from one Heisman Trophy winner to another, Cardinals starting quarterback Kyler Murray is officially out for the season after suffering a torn ACL on his right knee on the third play of last night's game against New England. After suffering the non-contact injury, Murray was carted off the field. Sources said that there was, quote, little doubt that he had torn his ACL, and an MRI this morning confirmed the worst. There is no official timetable for Murray's return, but most expected to be somewhere around week 1 next season. Colt McCoy, no relation to Katie, will start for the Cardinals going forward. That wraps things up for the headlines this week, but don't go anywhere. More Blue Nation is next after the break.